My dear children, now I am going to demonstrate you how to work with Python practicals. So first of all, we need to install the Python language into the computer. In order to install, we will download the Python program. So as usual, we'll open a web browser and search for download Python. Then they will take us to the Python original website, python.org. I'm clicking on that. Then it shows me the available versions of Python. We have 3.8, 3.9, likewise, and say that bug fix. That means the available errors were identified. That's the situation. And then a 3.10 version has been released somewhere like this. So there are details about the versions. Then these are the specific releases for us to download. 3.11, 3.8, they were released in these years. So then depending on the stability, you may select whatever download. But in our level, we are just beginners. You can select a modern version, a considerable version. So to download into your computer, we may, from the top menu, we have downloads menu, and we'll go to Windows. Since all our computers are Windows, I may select on Windows operating system. Now it shows us the available versions for us to download matching with Windows operating system. So then 3.12, 3.12, the earlier version 0.3, and 3.11, 3.10. Likewise, there are versions. So then I may just download the 3.11 version to be quite fair, not the latest version, not the very old one. So that's my selection. Or else you can go for some very previous versions like 3.8. We don't have that versions to download. Likewise, there are, if you scroll this, there are different versions available. Right? Then among them, I may select from the top menu without thinking, without going much more, 3.11.9 version. They say that this can't be used for Windows 7 or earlier. It is applicable in the new versions. My computer is a 64-bit computer. Clicking on Windows installer to download. Then they ask me to download it. I may select a folder to download. In mine, I may go for my programming folder. There I have a folder called as Python. Now I may create a new folder called as Python 3.11 version. And inside that I may save this file. Now click on save. It will get saved. So it's a 25 megabyte file. Now I may browse the folder. Here I have the downloaded file. Installation is very simple. So I may double click on that file. Now it starts the installation. Right? It says that Python 3.11. So I just click on install now. No need to think much more. It keeps on installing. It says that setup was successful. And then you can read this. Then I may close this. That means my computer is ready with Python now. Then that's the way how we install it. In order to work with Python, you just go to start. And then since it is newly installed, you may see the versions here. Right? So then added to that's a feature in the Windows name. Or else you can search for idle, or else you can search for Python from the search button. Then you can get it. Or else the best way is you may search for idle, IDLE. So then when I get that, I may click on it. So this is going to be the Python shell to work with. So as I demonstrated in the class, this is the command prompt in Python. So this is accepting commands to be inserted. I'll just enter a Python primitive command, print, open brackets, open quotes, telling it as hello, close double quotes, close brackets, and when I hit on the enter key, it will get executed. and gives me the output. So shell is like that. It executes each line one after the other. And this doesn't allow me to write a lengthy code. Why? When I write one line and hit on the enter key, that will get executed. You can try some codes in this shell, and you can use this for some other purposes as well. If I am to write a program with multiple lines, from this shell, you have to open a new editor. So after opening idle, I go to File, and there I am clicking on New File. Right? I'll repeat. I want to write a program now. So I go to File, click on New. Now the editor opens. Right? So in this editor, I can write lines of the program. I'll just show you that. I'll write print welcome. So that's one line. Then I may hit on the enter key. It won't get executed, and the prompt is there for me to enter the next command. I may type print thank you, close double quotes, close brackets. Now I entered 2 codes in my program. I want to run this. In order to run a Python program, first thing is you have to save the code. That's essential. Like in the other applications, you go to File, Save As, and browse a location to save. I just browse my usual folder, program Python. Okay. Then I had that newly created folder 3.11. I may say this is program 1, prg1. I give the name to save the file and click on save. Now it is saved. Once it is saved, you see the top taskbar, top title bar with the destination and the file name. Once it is saved, you can run the code. You go to run and click on run module. Then it will get executed and giving you the output. Here, according to the code, it should display welcome, and then it should display thank you. So this is what my outcome is. That's the way how you run Python codes. Okay, so the output is generated on the shell itself. Editor is used to write the code. I'll do one more program. So then I close that earlier editor and I want to open another window. New file. And then say that I want to input something. I just say that uname equals input, enter your name. Then I want to display this. Print welcome, then another particular name, uname. Okay. Now this is a code. And finally, I may add another code telling that thank you. Okay. So this is the code I entered properly, correctly. We'll see how it is going to get executed. So first of all, I want to save this. File, save as, and I'm browsing the location. I may save this as prg2. Okay, now I want to run this. So I can use run and run module, or else I can use the shortcut key F5. You see that? Function keys. So that will also run your code. Now, when I run it, it says enter your name. That's okay. First line is taking an input. I may enter my name, Indunil. Then I have to hit on the enter key since it is an entering of text. I press the enter key. Now the rest of the things will get executed. Welcome, Indunil. Then my thank you will also be displayed. So this is the way how you work with Python in your practical aspect. At the same time, say that in my code, I make a small mistake. So then I forget to enter the closing double quotes here. Now we'll see what will happen. Then I'm saving this again, file, save, and run it. It says that unterminated string. You can understand that unterminated string. There's a string here which is not terminated. In line 2, there's an error. You may find it. Okay. And I call it. Now it's working. It says to save it. Then I may enter my name. Then works. I may do another error like this. I change this variable name. Now this variable is uname. That is the one which is taken to the user. I just remove this E. Now should it work? No, this is a different name, but the real variable is this. So there's a certain error. You may do these mistakes and see how the error is going to be captured. Now I'll save this and run. You don't know. I just run it. Enter your name. Now it asks the name. Why? This line has no error. Since Python is using an interpreter, it executes the first line. No issue. Then I may type my name. I may say some other name, Kamal. Now hit on the enter key. Then it goes to the next line to execute. Now it says, what is that? Trace back. Now it says line 2. If you read it, file of this file, line 2, there's an error. Line 2, there's an error. What is that? Print welcome UN. This is a code. Error is name error. Name, uname is not defined. They say that UNAM is not defined. Why? It is not used earlier. So they guide you. So I'm telling you that whenever there's an error in Python, that is the way to progress your program. So therefore, as soon as you get an error, don't get discouraged. Trace what the error, identify it and recorrect it. If I recorrect it, now it will be fine. Right? Now I found it, what the error is on this line 2, this error. So I identified it. And then I am saving it and proceed with the running. It asks me to enter the name, Nimal. Now it works. So then, programming language is highly interesting. I hope that you will practice this to progress our programming things. So not only these codes, this complex codes with selection control structure, while loops, and even many other things to come in the future, practice them and get familiar with the real practical environment. That's your success. Good luck, boys and girls. Thank you.